What is up, beautiful people, beautiful spirits? My name is Jordan, and I welcome you back to another video. Today, I wanted to talk about the understanding of frequency and vibration. How does it actually work in our world? What does it mean? And how can we use it for our own benefit to live the life that we like and become the person that we want to be? So everything in this world we're living in this universe, is made out of energy. And this energy is actually a vibration. It's energy in movement. It's a frequency. Not that you can look at it, but look at sound. It is something we cannot see, but we can measure it. And it shows that it's waves of energy passing through. And everything from light to everything that we can see, but also everything we are made of, is of a certain type of frequency and energy. And knowing this, we can say, okay, we see this energy in front of us. We see our hands, we see our being, we see the third dimension, we see this physical universe, this physical reality. But once we dive deeper into this topic, we come to understand that in quantum physics, when we really look closely at this matter, at this energy, we actually completely lose the substance on which this third dimension is built. So we lose our physicality. And it shows that we can only see a certain part of the light, which is, I believe, 0.01 of the observable light that we can see. There's so much more outside of it. And on a deeper scale, this means a lot of different things, and a lot of different things are known but also not known yet, because it's a fairly new subject in our world. But it also shows that there's a deeper layer to our being, to who we are, than what we just see. I mean, we can look at this beautiful face, we can look at everything there is surrounding me, this plant or whatever, and it shows that there is a deeper layer beneath that. And we, for humans, call this our soul. But for a plant, they have also their own soul or energy. Just like this piece maybe doesn't have a soul, but it is awareness, it is that energy. And all of our universe is made up of the same source of energy. And we experience our reality from individual points of view. We can do that. But for instance, this yoga mat. But that doesn't mean that it's not aware, that it might not be able to feel. How weird that might sound. Using therefore this vibration, we know we can sense into what our vibration is, for instance, at this moment. We can sense into what the vibration is of the being walking along the street, of the person you meet. And that's the difference you might be able to feel when there's somebody being empowered, being themselves, being natural, authentic. They have a certain glow about them. Their energy field is tuned into their higher self, to their authentic self. And we can also feel when somebody is a little bit off. For instance, when somebody is having an off day, or not even an off day, but maybe being depressed or anxious. We can feel their energy is not aligned with what it's supposed to be or what it can be, what is natural for them, who they originally truly are, what the quirks or the quirks or the manifestation is of their own authentic energy. Which, may I remind you, this is only a physical manifestation of what that energy is on a deeper level. So everything you see surrounding yourself, everything you go through on a day-to-day basis, everything you experience is coming from, is created by that higher dimensional energy, which can actually create worlds, can create this physical dimension in general, in a whole. We create it ourselves. And this might sound esoteric or not for you, but once we look into the details of that, that's the only conclusion we can get. And based on this, we can say, for instance, okay, we experience reality like a timeline. It looks like, okay, we start at birth and we ended at our death, which is true. We experience it like that. But once we look deeper at time and at energy and all these surrounding topics, we actually see that every moment is eternal, is now, is always. And this is not that easy to be understood for our human brains, because we have been taught and we have learned that everything is just passing by. We go to bed, we wake up, and so on. But once we know that time is not linear, we can also use this vibrational understanding, this frequency understanding, to make quantum leaps, to shift timelines, which are whole different topics we can talk about, and I will certainly do later. But it initially means that we have the choice in each moment to take on a different identity based on more or less of our original authentic vibration. And the one is not particularly better than the other, although the one might feel better than the other. But that's up to you, for you to decide what you want to experience, what you are capable of experiencing, and what you are willing to let go of to actually embody that more authentic self. Because what happens is that this is like the third dimension, and this is the fifth dimension, for instance. And for many of the people who might be into this stuff, know that we are shifting from the third to the fifth dimension, but it doesn't go gradually. It's not like, okay, we go up. No, it can happen like from one day to the other, where you're like, okay, we make this shift, and there's a whole bandwidth of energy in between. And that's where the interesting part comes. Like, we cannot rise higher when there's something holding us back. It will pull us back, which is called like negative blocks or attachments to the third dimension or other physical realms, or this or that, which is a whole other topic as well. But we gradually can rise up, or we can make a significant jump from one moment to the other, depending on how capable you are of creating that frequency, that feeling, and everything that's surrounding that, to make that jump. And some people are born naturally with this. Everybody can do it, but some are generally better at it than others, just like there are people better at football or soccer than others. People are gifted with it, other people can learn it. And everybody can use it essentially to create their own life, and we all are starting to either be consciously aware or subconsciously, unconsciously aware that this shift, first of all, is taking place, and second of all, how to consciously raise our vibration to match more of what we are inside, and therefore also manifest a whole new reality outside of ourselves. And this is essentially magic. This is where you get into a realm of infinite possibilities, where people are talking about, okay, this is magic, I can create, I have a thought and then somebody calls me, or I have this in mind and then actually a year or maybe whatever time passes later, that particular scene or thought that has been inside of the mind for maybe a while, maybe not a while, comes to fruition. And it's like, oh my God, I created that. And this happens consciously, but also subconsciously and unconsciously. And that's where discernment needs to be made. It's a lot more fertile for somebody to be conscious and manifest, because our energy is higher. We are more embodied with source light energy than somebody who is not. And step by step along this ascension process we're going through, people are starting to become more aware of their own power, of their choice essentially in what they want to experience, what they can experience, what they'll allow to experience. And imagine if the whole it would be pretty much impossible, although nothing is impossible, I've learned. But imagine, for instance, everybody in the world having the same thought at the same time. That thought, that energy which is put behind it from so many different beings, shifts the world instantly. So if we all think, okay, for instance, this old way of being is over, I don't like this anymore, and I'll decide now what we are going to make it. Let's say love, or more compassion or freedom. Like that, everything would shift. And that's how easy it actually can be. But most of the time it's not, because we came here to experience, to learn different things. And depending on how fast we actually learn these different topics, depending on that, we can shift faster and faster and faster through them. We don't have to spend, like say, specifically a month on this topic. We can also do it in a day if we can learn it in a day. But most of the time, because of all the programming that goes in our mind and in our subconscious, it takes a while to first loosen it up and then put back together something new. And therefore, it sometimes takes a while for manifestation to happen, or it sometimes takes a while before you finally understand the core of the problem or thing you're dealing with. And therefore, it sometimes takes a while for you to let go of it, because it has served you in the past, but might for a long time already not do it. But there's still an attachment to it for you to let loose. And that's not bad. Maybe it is. No. As I said, that the roof started squeaking. So with that said, I realized that sometimes the chaos can also be very fun, or a lot of the times the chaos can be very fun. To actually not consistently live in that higher frequency or at your authentic self, because there's also a lot of other things to experience here, and as long as it's not completely killing you or hurting you, it's not always that bad. But do your own thing, like don't take that from me, and that's just something I'm going through. Anyway, hope you learned something. Hope you understand a little bit more about vibration, frequency, shifting. It's a complex subject, but it gets easier once we allow it to be easier. Once we put away our mind, because our minds are 9 out of 10 times in the way of actually experiencing what we want. And then to just be authentically you more and more and more and more and more. Because only together we can make this world better. And that's what a lot of people are understanding, and more are starting to understand. And that's what I'm here for. So anyway, thank you. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day wherever you are. And peace.